Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah, and today we're going to talk about The Witch King, or Witch King, by Martha Wells, and whether you should read it if you enjoyed Murderbot. The answer is maybe not. The Witch King, I keep calling it The Witch King. That's an entirely different book. Witch King by Murder Wells? Wow. I'm really winning today. Witch King by Martha Wells is an epic fantasy novel, just came out this week. It is the story of Kai, who is the titular Witch King. He wakes up in a coffin suspended in water. Now, he is a type of being commonly referred to as a demon in this world who inhabits bodies, willing or unwilling, and lives out a lifespan in that body. He can switch bodies. He doesn't like to, but he can. And water suspension can cage him. And he is awoken when someone tries to break him out of the cage and enslave him. From there, we see him pick up some old friends, some new friends, and they go on a journey to find another friend who is missing. Now, this book was almost perfect for me. My complaint is that this is a dual timeline book, and I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't aware that it would be dual timeline. I also was unaware that I had left my light off. This video is going great so far. So this is a dual timeline. This jumps between the current time where Kai, Zaid, and Sonia are traveling to try and find Zaid's wife. I believe her name is pronounced Taryn or Taran. And the past when Kai is a child and he has just entered this realm into a child's body, and they get wrapped up in a war that's happening. A force of people, we'll say peoples, called the Hierarchs. Hierarchs have come down from the south, I believe it was said, and they're massacring the peoples along the way. And it's the story of how Kai gets caught in the fight between the Hierarchs and the people in his area. That story does tie in very closely to the present day story. However, it is a bit jarring in the first couple jump betweens. It's clearly marked, past, present. However, you don't quite see the connections between the two till about the halfway mark. 30 or 40, I would say more generously, is when I actually started to click. And I said, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing, where we're going. On a reread, I could see this totally making it to the 5-star list for me, but because I wasn't ready for that dual timeline thing, it was kind of, I had a little bit of hesitation. It also took me quite a while to read this because I was putting it down and then not picking it back up because I was just not interested in that past timeline for the longest time. So, like I said, nearly perfect book. It does have dual timelines, and I know a lot of people don't like dual timelines. It's also epic, dense, heavy fantasy. There's no romance. The only real romantic interest or information you get is about Zaid and Taran and how they meet. And you find, you're told obviously later that they are married. And there is very little else. It's just a journey book. It is a journey for Kai to find his found family, his friends, and reunite. And it ends with them preparing maybe to go on another journey. I would read more in this world. Now, having said that, would I recommend this to fans of Murderbot? Because I know that Martha Wells has gotten a huge fan base because of her Murderbot novellas. Maybe not. It depends. If you like dense epic fantasy with a very steep learning curve, then yes, I would say pick this up. This is a great read. This is a return to Martha Wells' previous work style before the Murderbot books. She's been writing for years, and this is more like some of her previous books that I read as a wee little reader back in the day. It's not like Murderbot. The writing style is similar. Her masterful work with characters is very much on point, and she does a great job with world building. But besides that, the two series are very different. In Murderbot, they're short, they're punchy, they're well constructed, but they're also easy, accessible, and very funny. Witch King is still funny at times and light, but there is a lot of heaviness in the story. We see death, massacres of people, genocide, we see mass colonization. There is a lot to be said here about losing one's entire race. Kai is an interesting being because he comes from the underneath. He is what the people call a demon, and he can inhabit a body. And he has taken the body of a child, and he grew up with another group of people, so he feels at home with two groups. And he basically loses access to both of those. So we see what it's like to lose that, and for a long to live individual like Kai, because this present timeline takes place quite a few years after the past timeline, we see that loss and how that affects him. And we even see some examples of a stress response. At one point, he's kidnapped, and then later we see him respond simply to a smell, triggering him in a way where he cannot get on a creature to ride somewhere. So it's heavier. It's heavier than Murderbot in a lot of ways. Like I said, Murderbot's funnier, it's more accessible, and it's got more widespread appeal. This one, I don't think will. So just go in knowing this is not Murderbot. This is not going to be like Murderbot. If you like Wells' style and you do like epic fantasy, that is just fantasy for the sake of a fantastic story, then pick it up. If you like Murderbot because it's accessible sci-fi and it's extremely funny, maybe look for some more reviews on Witch King. For me, it was damn near perfect, but that's a genre I love. It may not be a genre for everyone. But that is my thoughts on Witch King by Martha Wells. I loved it. I don't think I would recommend it to a lot of Murderbot fans, but for fantasy fans, it is one that I definitely do recommend. This, I hope, is the start to another series. Martha Wells does series really well, and if that's the case, I am in this for the long haul because the world that she built, it's both heartbreaking and fascinating, and I want to see more of it. That is it. That's my thoughts. Let me know if you've read it, what your thoughts are. Are you going to pick it up? And I will talk to you guys again soon. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you then. Bye!